Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door. It's the Richard Wilmore Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Wilmore.
This is why we don't do this show live. Because we haven't
Thank goodness.
figured out the audio. We're here with Madisen Rinche. So, did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Are you sure?
No, yeah, you're good.
Okay. That means it's probably wrong. But
No, you're great. You're
you are an author. How does that
Yes.
feel?
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Your book, Madisen with an E. Tell everybody where this book came from.
This book, I wrote it in high school, actually.
Mm.
I wrote it between the ages of 16 through 19. So this came from a place of just growing up, like writing was like very much a coping mechanism for me. And because I did have a lot of friends, but I was very shy and I didn't like being vulnerable in front of people. So a place to be vulnerable was like writing. And so I did write most of these chapters, just basically writing about my thoughts about things coming from like periods and puberty to like growing up and leaving for college and stuff like that. So yeah, it came from a place of just wanting all of these thoughts in my head to just come out on the page.
And it took you it took you like 3 years to write this, right?
Yes, it did.
Was it something that you set out to write the book, or was it like you were writing and you thought, oh, I could turn this into a book?
Yeah, I had the idea originally at 16. I wanted to write a book and I did want it to be a little bit personal. At first, I wanted a fiction book and I was like, oh, I suck at that. So then I was like, well, maybe let me write about something that I feel like I'm okay at, which is writing about my feelings. And I had a lot of friends come up to me just asking about random things about their lives, like, how do I combat this? And what are your thoughts on this? And I was like, well, let me write you like little letters and let me know. Because that's my way to express like how I can help them is through like writing.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was like, maybe I should write a book about this. Because I give a lot of letters to a lot of people. And let me just do a whole book. So yeah, it came through that. And I think I finished at 19 because something happened to where like I was like, oh no, I'm not done yet. And then I had to finish it. And then I was like, I finished it at 19. I want to publish it by 20 because that way it's like leading into like how I am as an adult now, which is 20.
And it came out in October.
It did. Came October 4th on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble website. And then I didn't get it in my hands until like the end of October, but I actually didn't know that it was out until like a week later. Because I had a friend that was like, is it out yet? I was like, oh, I don't think it is. Like a week later, then he was like, oh, no, it's out. It's been out for like a week. And I was like, oh, well. So fun times.
What did that feel like to like have it in? And I love that it's hardcover.
Yeah.
I just got into my first Kindle.
Ooh.
I've always been like but I usually get paperbacks.
Yeah.
And so when you handed this to me, I was like, oh my gosh, a hardcover book. Like I feel like I'm 12 all of a sudden.
Yes, I personally do like hardcover. Hardcover is kind of expensive, so I did order a lot of like paperback books. But I am very much an advocate for like having the physical book in my hand. I just really do like the way the page flips, and I don't know, when I swipe it through a phone, I'm like, it's not the same.
I know. It's so
same.
different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm still like getting used to it.
It's easier. It's more convenient.
It's convenient, but I love the feel and the sounds that it makes when you open it up, and
the smell.
Yes. Tell everybody where the title came from.
Okay.
And why your name is spelled with an E.
Okay, well, the title came from basically all my life. Everybody's like, what's your name? And I was like, oh, it's Madisen. And they'd always write with an O. And I'm like, oh, no, it's Madisen with an E. And so I just had to say that all my life. So they're like, and I said, well, if this is a book about me, then maybe I should put Madisen with an E. And the reason I have an E in my name is because my middle name is Renee. And so that's Renee. and my last name Rinche, so that has an E at the end as well. So my mom was like, oh, there's a lot of E's in your name. Let me just add another one in your like first name.
What's one more?
What's one more in E? So it all has all my E's, and I guess she thought it would look good on like a piece of paper.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I bet. Like I picture it with like calligraphy, like what that would
Yeah.
look like
Yeah.
very smooth.
And
right?
these are like really easy to write in cursive.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like fortunate.
Yeah. Yes.
Dang.
Oh, you're graduating with a degree in
English major.
Of course.
Of course.
And then what? What's your plan? Are you going to be writing more? I'm assuming you're always writing, but is the plan to like publish more books?
Yes. I'm actually currently working on a poetry book. I've just got really fascinated and very intrigued with poetry this semester because of like a poetry class I'm taking. I'm also wanting to dabble a little bit in fiction. And so that might be like another book, maybe a little bit longer down the road. And as a graduation, of course, I want to always continue writing and always publishing because I just love writing. That's like my like passion. But of course, I want to eat. So I think I want to get a career in the writing world, which would probably be like maybe like an editor or like something for like a newspaper. I don't know. I feel like that'd be cool.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
It would be. I think it would be so great when you can do like what you're actually passionate about and what you love, right?
I think so, yeah. I feel like I would have a lot of joy going into work because it's something that I do even outside of work. Like I would do this for free.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I want to survive.
I mean, but money's also nice.
But money's also great.
Yes. Can you talk a little bit about the actual publishing process? Because I feel like writing is so important, whether you're going to publish or not, and everybody has a story in that.
Yeah.
And so for people watching that think, I might have a story that I want people to hear about or relate to, or can you talk a little bit about that, about like how that process went for you?
Yeah, so I actually did the self-publishing process, but I did sign with like a company here in San Antonio. It's called Halo Publishing. And so basically I sent them the book and they loved it. So they're like, okay, like let me sign with you. And then we're just gonna like take it off from there. And this started in July. And basically this publishing process is just you send them the manuscript and they edit it for you and they send it back and you meticulously go through every like little part to make sure that it's something that you want to be out there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like if it's a book, like you want it to be perfect because once it's out, it's out. And I'm like, I'm barely realizing that, like it's barely hitting me and I'm like, oh, it's out forever. So I'm like, okay. But basically the process is just, a lot of meetings, a lot of like phone calls and emails and just making sure that everything is to your satisfaction when it comes to like the cover design and the font and the page number where it wants to be placed in the book.
Wow.
It's just a whole lot in that process, but at the same time, for I guess self-publishing in general, there's a lot of control that you do have. But just know that it does take a lot of months and it does take a lot of work, but it is definitely worth it in the end.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
What have you learned, if anything, like about how have you changed since writing this book? Did you learn about yourself?
Yeah.
Were you like, oh my gosh, I don't remember that? Or like, I'm sure this had a ton of like healing for you as well, right? Since it isn't fiction and it's all you.
Yeah. Oh man. It's definitely like a red pill to swallow. I was like, oh my goodness. I've definitely read over some chapters. I was like, wow, I was so naive back then. Or wow, like this is something I thought was very like the end of the world for me, or like this is something that was so prevalent and I couldn't look past. And now when I'm older and you look back, it's like, wow, like I wish, I'm glad that I wrote that so I can look back at who I was. I'm like, wow, I've grown so much. And it definitely is like a therapeutic and healing process because writing through that and experiencing those things and writing through it and looking back at it now, I've realized how much I've grown over the years. And it's very much like this empowering, like, wow, like I've become a woman. And from like a little girl, like just bright-eyed, like writing whatever I wanted to write. And now I can look back and be like, wow, like she grew a lot. And I'm glad that I was able to go through the book.
Yeah. Were you scared to have it come out since it's so personal?
Oh, yeah.
I bet, right?
Yeah, it was okay. It was very frightening, but it was also super exciting because I was like, wow, I get to be a published author. That's so cool. I've always wanted, that was like my dream when I was a little kid, to like write a book and hold my own book. I was reading books all my life. So like holding my own was like such a surreal experience. But it was frightening in the sense of like, I read about very vulnerable topics in here and it's very personal. And so having people read like my innermost, like deepest thoughts is kind of like, it's very daunting if I'm being honest, but I felt it was necessary and I'm very glad I did it. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Sort of like staring at yourself in the mirror over and over and over again.
Yeah, and
all the
but-
good and the bad, right?
yeah.
And you're forced to do it. You can't walk away from that mirror.
No.
Who would you say Madison with an E is for?
I think it's for anybody who feels alone. I think I was definitely, like I said before, I was definitely a shy kid, and so of course I did have friends, but I felt like I was sometimes a little alone. I liked being alone. I liked being independent, and I liked having this like time of solace. But I feel it's for anybody who feels like nobody listens to them or hears them, and just people that are like in themselves and they think that's only them going through this, and they only have themselves. I feel like if somebody reads this and feels heard or listened or seen, I feel like it's for people like them to know that they're not alone.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful book, and it's available on Barnes and Noble. It's available on Amazon.
Yeah.
You're a published author.
Yeah.
There you go, Madison. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will be right back after this.
Hi, Wendy of The Right Fit. Let's talk about hair today. And if you find that you get a little bored with your hairstyle, you would be amazed how something as simple as getting an inch or two cut off the length, adding some long layers, changing up the color with some highlights or lowlights, anything that simple can make you feel like a brand new person and give you a big old self-esteem boost. So talk to your hairstylist. They are the expert, and they can help you come up with a great plan for a simple refresh. Thanks for listening and watching, everyone. You can reach me at wendy@therightfit.net or go to therightfit.net.
Wouldn't it be great if your business could have a commercial on TV? Now it can. Secure your Season 5 sponsorship by visiting richardwilmore.com. Advertise on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV by sponsoring The Richard Wilmore Show. Become a sponsor today. Go to richardwilmore.com now.
It's the Richard Wilmore Show.